Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Calls. This is the 2024 Byron Nelson Data Dive Show. We have a lot to get into. We're going to start with the forecast for McKinney, Texas. We're going to move to the prior leaderboards, figuring out exactly what metrics and what skills play best at TPC Craig Ranch, and we'll end it off with a little bit of research that I posted to social media and the data behind that research. So we got a lot of great stuff to get into, so let's not waste any more time. All statistics provided tonight and every night are from fantasynational.com. It is the best golf analytics tool out there for your money. Go check out fantasynational.com. You will not regret it. In the description to the video, there are links to all of the social media. First off, my X and Instagram, where, as I alluded to, I posted some research earlier today around the past three winners of the Byron Nelson at TPC Craig Ranch, KH Lee twice and Jason Day, the performance or the metrics that they had been performing well in leading into their win here at TPC Craig Ranch, and also the players in the field this week that fit the criteria. So if you want to see the weekly research that I do on the PGA Tour, give me a follow at your preferred social media site. X is also where I place my weekly betting cards and top player usage in the DFS contests that I play. I certainly fired off several wagers this morning on players that I really liked their numbers. So if you want to see my weekly betting cards and the top player usage for the DFS contest that I play, give me a follow over at X. Lastly, for social media, Gabe's handle is in the description. He writes a very good article called The Fringe. It's a great way to start your week of preparation, and he continues to update you throughout the week in his own way with his version of recent form and course history. I would not suggest checking out Gabe's work if I didn't fully believe it and the thought process that he puts behind it. Worked with him closely now for over a year, and it's been, I feel like, a great partnership. When you get two analysts working together, you're going to dig into a lot of good data. So I've enjoyed working with him, and I suggest you follow him over on social media and subscribe to that article. It is free to subscribe to his article, by the way, because if you are a subscriber to his article, you're going to be able to join us in his Substack chat every Wednesday as we continue the DFS talk after calls in his Substack chat. We talk about game theory, our favorite players at various areas of the price board, any 6K plays or even 5K plays that we like for the week, players that we are fading, albeit scared to, on all of that. So you don't want to miss out on that conversation. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you subscribe to his article. Lastly, we are live. Chat is open. Want to hear from you all. We had a lot of interaction last night. Hoping to keep that momentum tonight. Did you fire off any wagers today? Who is your early favorite for the Byron Nelson? Have you looked at the pricing? What kind of lineups are you thinking about building early on this week for the Byron Nelson? All of that. So let's dig into the weeds of the data for the 2024 CJ Cup Byron Nelson. And we start, as promised, with the forecast for McKinney, Texas. And the kind of the extended look. Hopefully camera will get centered and focused. There we go. Thursday looks like it's potentially a wash, quite honest with you. Lots of rain in the forecast for Thursday and a lot of wind, which we would expect the wind considering it is Texas, and the wind does play a pretty integral part in the course's defense at TPC Craig Ranch. But the possibility of rain throws in quite a wrench into any plans, so we'll have to stay on top of this throughout the week, and of course we'll update this at the beginning of the show Wednesday evening to see if a half of the draw develops, if we want to favor one half of the draw or not. There's a look at Thursday. Friday, looks like the wind calms down a little bit, but potentially still some rain in the forecast. And then Saturday, the wind picks up again. Sunday, pretty calm by, I would think, McKinney, Texas's standards. But rain in the forecast every day throughout the tournament. So again, we'll have to stay on top of this and figure out if there is a half of the draw that we need to focus on. So with that, we're going to move to Fantasy National. I am going to, as you see, set this for the last 36 rounds. Let's add the moderate and windy condition or windy filter to the data and take a look at our top performers in the past 2 years in moderate and windy conditions. Those players are Jordan Spieth, Adam Scott, Harry Hall, Will Zalatoris, Ben On, Sung Jae, Carson Young, Andrew Novak, Adam Schenk, and Mark Hubbard. You see Patrick Rogers has a star next to his name. There's also another named Charlie Hoffman. So 2 more field changes today. Patrick Rogers and Charlie Hoffman have decided not to play the Byron Nelson this week. And taking their place is Richie Werenski, who he did come in for Bezuidenhout last night, and then due to the reorder, got bumped to an alternate. Now he's back in. Richie Werenski is in, and Sean O'Hare are the 2 alternates that have taken the place of Patrick Rogers and Charlie Hoffman. Some other sponsor exemptions have been handed out. Marty Doe or Zicheng Doe. Let's see, a couple others. Names are eluding me at the moment. But those are your top performers in moderate and windy conditions the past couple of years. With the course being extremely soft or potentially being extremely soft, it will play pretty long, as it is a long course already, over 7,400 yards. With it being soft, or with the rain in the forecast, it has the potential to be soft. So our top performers on long courses, those measured over 7,400 yards. Our top performers on long courses the past couple of years: Sam Stevens, Sung Jae, Michael Kim, Wesley Bryan, Will Zalatoris, Eric Barnes, Jordan Spieth, Matt Kuchar, Adam Schenk, and Hayden Springer. So right off the top of my head, I believe Adam Schenk was the only one that was top 10 for windy conditions as well. And then the one thing that you need to know about TPC Craig Ranch, it is just extremely easy. We talked about this quite a bit last night. We'll continue to do so throughout the week. It is just extremely, extremely easy, and I do not foresee that changing, especially if it is indeed soft and receptive. So our top performers when rounds have been easy relative to par the past 2 years: Alex Noren, Ben Griffin, Peter Quest, Taylor Pendrith, Bo Hostler, Chan Kim, Adam Schenk, Doug Gim, Luke List, and Michael Kim. So Adam Schenk's been up here in the top 10 for all 3 of the filters: easy, long courses, wind. Michael Kim was up there for 2 of them, I believe, on long courses and when it's easy. So give these players, a slight boost in your considerations. Considering in a big picture view, these players should play well, or at least they have played well in similar style conditions. All right, we're gonna hold off on any more in the strokes gained page view, and let's just go ahead and jump straight into the prior leaderboards. We have a lot to cover in that regard. We want to figure out which metrics and which shots, shot types, and skills play best around TPC Craig Ranch. So as we look at Jason Day's win last year, we'll highlight the top 18 just due to ties. Look at all of the off the tee. Only one player negative in terms of off the tee in the top 18 for the for the Byron Nelson last year. You had a few players negative in approach, but your top 10, everybody in your top 10 was positive in approach as well. So this is a ball striking course. Don't mix it up and get it twisted, as the kids say. This is a ball striking course. A little bit of around the green. Of course, if you're making putts, you're going to be rising on the leaderboard. If we sort, Peter Quest, top 15 last year, all in the off the tee. Made quite a few putts as well, but led in our off the tee. Not necessarily the most elite correlation, but certainly our cut making. Top 15, a top 30, a top 5, another top 15, a top 10. Our winner was a little bit further down here, but still on the upper echelon of the leaderboard in terms of off the tee. If we look at approach, again, a lot of cut making. Our winner was third in approach last year. Top 25, top 30, top 10, top 15. So a lot of ball striking. A lot of ball striking around the green. Okay. I mean, it's our highest miscut. We have a couple of miscuts up here. A lot of, poor finishes that from players that did make the cut. And of course, putting. A lot of decent correlation here with the putting. But I really wanted to highlight the fact that off the tee, a big factor, approach, a big factor as well. If we look at 2 years ago, the second of KH Lee's 2 wins, we take a look, highlight the top 4, now let's go 16. Top 16 here. Again, a couple of players negative and off the tee, but really only one was poor in CBES. Only one player negative in approach. If we sort, again, a lot of cut making. We have James Hart Dupree missed the cut at the very bottom of our screen, but middling from Camp Champ, a top 10, a top 20, top 25, top 5, top 20 runner up. So a lot of correlation, very good correlation here at the top for off the tee. Approach, a lot of the same. Now, Gostewski, very, very high in terms of approach, but missed the cut. You see, he just seemingly didn't make a putt all week. Lost 5 on the greens, but gained 5.5 with his irons. But look at the correlation around Gostewski 2 years ago. Third, top 10, a middling for Mark Hubbard, sure. Runner up, top 20, top 15, third, win, a top 5 a little bit lower. Ball striking, ball striking, ball striking. What we want to focus on this week. So I'm going to get this actually set ready for fairways and greens. Looking at the strokes gained, there's a few ways we can look at it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I really like the idea of looking at off the tee when it's easy. This course is very, very forgiving off the tee. These fairways are wide. There's not a lot of trouble to get into. The rough isn't penalizing either. So this is the way I am leaning right now in terms of what you would see on the mixed condition model come Wednesday night. I don't think it's wrong to look at off the tee on long courses, but I'm leaning towards the easy relative to par, and stick around to the end of the show for the research, and this will really explain why I'm leaning towards the easy filter with off the tee.